I mean, we just tried a few different setups out there, FP1, FP2, so it's just trying to fine-tune a little bit, but at least I think the day itself was a bit more normal.
Red Bull Racing, a team that never stops seeking improvements, the RB20 is undergoing several updates and adjustments, and our drivers Max Verstappen and Perez have a lot to share about these new developments. We'll analyze what's happening behind the scenes and how these changes might impact the upcoming races. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. Let's get straight to the point. Red Bull Racing is always looking for ways to improve the performance of the RB20. Chief Engineer Paul Monahan highlighted that the team is committed to continuous development, making precise modifications in specific areas of the car. One of the most notable changes was in the side pod for the Barcelona GP, adjusting the air intakes to optimize cooling efficiency. Monahan explained that with varying temperature conditions from race to race, the team needs to adapt the bodywork to ensure the engine operates within the ideal temperature range. This is not just about keeping the car running, but also about maximizing performance. Each adjustment is made based on detailed simulations that show how air pressure can be better utilized. The commitment to these developments is no easy task. Red Bull has to ensure these changes bring efficiency gains without compromising other areas of the car. And as we're seeing a tight battle at the top of the grid, any gain, no matter how small, can be decisive. Speaking of adjustments and adaptations, another crucial aspect Red Bull is facing is the challenge of maintaining performance across different circuits, especially those with specific conditions. Let's understand better how they are handling this. To stay competitive, Red Bull can't afford to ignore the details. One of these crucial details is the car's cooling efficiency. The team made significant modifications to the bodywork, especially the air intakes of the side pod. The idea is to use air pressure more efficiently to cool the engine without compromising aerodynamics. Paul Monahan explained that reducing the size of the air outlets was an important step. Opening large holes in the bodywork means releasing dirty air, as they call it, which can harm aerodynamic performance, especially on the rear wings and floor edges. These adjustments are not just technical, they are essential to ensure the car can compete at its maximum capabilities, even in adverse conditions. These changes become even more critical in circuits with high temperatures, like those expected in Europe during the summer. Red Bull had to adapt its car to ensure cooling efficiency without compromising speed and stability. This is particularly important in circuits like Silverstone, where every fraction of a second counts. Now let's look at how Red Bull is dealing with performance challenges on different tracks, especially those with extreme conditions. Each Formula One circuit brings its own challenges, and Red Bull Racing needs to be prepared for all of them. One of the problems the team has faced is the RB20's performance on tracks with specific conditions, such as tight corners and bumpy surfaces. For example, in Monaco, the team encountered significant difficulties with the car's grip on the curbs and bumps. Monahan emphasized that Red Bull is constantly working to improve the car's performance in these situations. They make continuous adjustments to the suspension and aerodynamics to ensure the car can handle these challenges without losing performance. Even small adjustments can make a big difference, especially on tracks where grip is crucial. Additionally, the team has to consider the temperature and altitude conditions of each race. In circuits like Austria, where the altitude is high, the car's behavior can change dramatically. Red Bull is always adjusting the car's setup to ensure it operates within the optimal range, considering these factors. These adaptations are not only to improve performance, but also to ensure the car's safety and reliability during the race. The team is always looking for the best way to balance aerodynamic efficiency and car stability, even in extreme conditions. Now let's talk about how Red Bull is balancing its resources between current development and future challenges that lie ahead. Managing a Formula One team is a real balancing act, especially when it comes to allocating resources for the current car's development and planning for the future. At Red Bull Racing, this is even more complicated due to restrictive rules and budget caps. Paul Monahan highlighted that the team must make strategic decisions about how much to dedicate to this year's car, next year's model, and preparations for the 2026 season. Monaghan mentioned that the current FIA rules make it difficult to find significant advantages, meaning every small improvement must be carefully planned and implemented. Additionally, with the budget cap, the team needs to be even more efficient in how it spends its money. Every dollar invested must bring a significant return in terms of on-track performance. One of the most difficult decisions is how to split resources between improving the current car and developing new technologies for the future. With major regulatory changes expected for 2026, Red Bull needs to be prepared for these new rules while still competing at the highest level in the coming years. This involves not only enhancing the RB20, but also starting to develop concepts for future cars. Monaghan also highlighted the importance of having a highly qualified team of engineers and designers. Intelligent and creative people are essential for finding innovative solutions within the constraints imposed by the rules and budget. Red Bull invests heavily in its personnel, knowing they are key to keeping the team competitive in the long term. In the Spanish GP, both Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez face significant challenges during the practice sessions. These sessions are crucial for testing the car's setup and making necessary adjustments before the race, and the results don't always reflect the final performance, but provide valuable insights into the car's current state. Verstappen had a promising start, achieving the second fastest time in the first free practice session, FP1, just a few milliseconds behind Lando Norris. However, during the second session, FP2, Verstappen dropped to fifth position behind Pierre Gasly of Alpine, showing that the RB20 still needs adjustments to become more competitive. Perez, on the other hand, had a more difficult day. He started well in FP1 but plummeted to the 13th position in FP2. Perez mentioned that they made several changes to the car's setup, which resulted in a loss of consistency. This type of variability in performance is something the team needs to analyze and resolve quickly to ensure both drivers can compete at their best. Verstappen commented that the car had understeer in medium-speed corners, a problem that significantly affects performance. He mentioned that the team was testing different rear-wing configurations to find the ideal balance. Despite the difficulties, Verstappen remained optimistic, stating that these issues are normal during practice and part of the fine-tuning process. With all the modifications, adjustments, and feedback, Red Bull Racing continues to show an unwavering commitment to excellence. The RB20 is in constant evolution, and each race brings new challenges and opportunities for improvement. Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez are key pieces in this puzzle, contributing their valuable insights so the team can keep refining the car. Looking ahead, we can expect Red Bull to continue adapting and evolving. With the challenges of each circuit and the constraints of budget and regulations, the team needs to be creative and efficient. It will be interesting to see how these changes will impact the upcoming races, and if Red Bull can maintain its leading position on the grid. So, guys, stay tuned, because the season is just heating up and there's much more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates and analysis. See you next time, and let's hope Red Bull keeps surprising us.